Hi Aries, welcome to your September 2023 energy reading. My name is Kimberly from the Path Illuminated. If you are returning, thank you so much for your support. If you are new here, welcome. As I mentioned, this will be a collective energy reading for Aries for the month of September. It is currently August 28th, and we have 7 planets in retrograde. We have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, Mercury, Uranus, and Chiron. And on top of all of that retrograde energy, we also have a full moon in Pisces, a full blue moon in Pisces happening on August 30th/31st, depending on where in the world you are. So if the energies have been feeling intense for you, you are not alone. Things have been pretty crazy. So Aries, I hope you are taking care of yourself. I'm doing my best. I've had quite the retrograde season, and I'm actually on week 6 of recovering from tennis elbow, aka tendonitis. So I haven't been doing as many readings as I had planned to, but it is retrograde season, and it, par for the course in the sense that whatever's coming up, if you feel the need to pull back and to rest, definitely listen to that. In any event, let's get going with your energy reading for September, Aries. I will be pulling 5 cards for the overall energy, and then I will pull clarifiers to go a little bit deeper, and then we will end the reading with a card from the Mother Earth Mandala Oracle. And something I always like to mention is that understand, Aries, that you know what is going on in your life. You know what is best for you. And as an energy reader, I'm going to pick up on what is going on around you to provide you with a different perspective, ask you some deep questions that Spirit wants you to consider, provide you some support and hopefully some inspiration and guidance. But at the end of the day, remember that you have free will. So if something comes out in the reading, Aries, that you're not super keen on, understand that you can always change how you deal with a person, a situation. You can change your perspective, right? And remember that energy is constantly changing based on our individual decisions, right? So none of this is set in stone, and you are not powerless. And again, this is a collective general energy reading. So the messages may resonate, they may not. Take what resonates for you and leave the rest for somebody else. All right, let's get going. Angels, spirits, and guides. What messages do you have for Aries for September? Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. Please help me in pulling a clear and accurate reading for the Aries collective for the month of September. What messages, what insights, what guidance do you have for the Aries collective for the month of September? Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, if you are interested in a one-on-one, you can check out my website. I will link it below. I have a few different offerings available. I have some pre-recorded readings that you can purchase, or we can schedule a one-on-one depending on what it is that you're looking for. So I'll link that all below if you would like more information. All right. One more card, Spirit. Angel, spirits, and guides. What does Aries need to know? All right. Just want to make sure y'all can see the cards. I have a slightly different setup here, and always want to make sure that you can see the cards. All right. So we've got the initial 5 cards out here. I'll sit with that energy as I pull some clarifying cards to go a little bit deeper into your reading, Aries. This is bothering me. Sorry, y'all. Like slightly buckled. Just got this new tarot cloth, which I love. the planets and space, etc. I'm into all that cosmic stuff myself. All right. Got the Hierophant, King of Pentacles in reverse, Five of Wands, Five of Pentacles in reverse, and the Judgment card. All right. Why is the Hierophant here, Spirit, for Aries? Why is the Hierophant here, Spirit? Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides for helping me to pull an accurate reading for the Aries collective for the month of September. Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. What messages do we... It's a little too many. One card, please, Spirit, to clarify the Hierophant here for Aries. Again, too many cards. I'll take one or two. Okay. Why is the King of Pentacles in reverse here, Spirit, for Aries? Again, way too many cards. Thank you, angels, spirits, and guides. Why is the King of Pentacles in reverse here for Aries? Okay. Why is the Five of Wands here, Spirit, for Aries? Cards. Clarify the Five of Wands for me, please, Spirit. Why is the Five of Pentacles in reverse, Spirit, for Aries? Got it. And why is the Judgment here? Okay. I may pull some additional cards to go deeper, but let's go ahead and dig into what we've got here so far. Okay. So Aries, the month of September, you are definitely going to be investing more in your own knowledge and your own understanding. Typically, the Hierophant can talk about, you know, going deeper with your commitment to your spiritual practices or some type of knowledge. It can also talk about potentially, you know, finding a spiritual mentor, whatever it is, it's a higher level of commitment. So during the month of September, you are going to be making a decision to go deeper, whether it is on your own, by, you know, investing in trainings, certifications, those classes, right? Or you might be investing or looking for some type of spiritual mentor or a coach to help you navigate the next part of your journey. Now, it is clarified by the Devil. Devil is a card of Capricorn. It can talk about the ways in which an individual self-sabotages, neuroses, obsessions, toxic habits, you know, toxic ways of thinking, codependency, all of these sorts of things. So potentially, right, Aries, maybe you are starting to identify within yourself the ways in which you have been sabotaging your own life, your potential, your happiness, your health, your spiritual practices, whatever it is. I think that during the month of September, Aries, you might be coming to the conclusion that you need some more help. Now, I have an Aries moon, Pisces sun and rising. I understand how independent Aries tend to be, and it's something that's very admirable, right? Aries is the first in the zodiac wheel, right? They are the spark of life in spring, right? They are the trailblazers. They are the innovators. They are the entrepreneurs. And that's an amazing trait as somebody who has a very strong Aries placement. And I admire Aries and, you know, their strength and their fortitude and their tenacity and their drive to make things happen. But part of the shadow side of that is having an inability to identify your own weaknesses, and weaknesses don't need to be negative, Aries, right? Nobody is perfect. Newsflash, not even you. All of us have areas that we lack and need support in, and we only continue to sabotage ourselves, our happiness, and our potential by believing that we have to do it all by ourselves and that we cannot seek out support. And so I think really the month of September, Aries, is about you coming to an understanding that it actually is going to be beneficial for you to reach out to a higher level for support, whether that is a life coach or, you know, a therapist or some type of spiritual mentor that can help you sort of get deeper into the blockages that are keeping you from manifesting the life that you want. The next card, King of Pentacles in reverse. So this can talk about being a workaholic, right? As we talked about self-sabotaging behaviors, toxic ways of being, toxic thought patterns, right? King of Pentacles in reverse can talk about being overly fixated on your money, being a workaholic, and being very, very controlling over your 3D reality and your resources. And so sometimes, right, we're like, well, I want to be careful with my money. I don't want to overspend, like, but it actually ends up coming from a place of fear and lack mentality. And what we try to hold on to tightly ends up typically hurting us, Aries. So one, if you think about if you're holding onto a rope, right, that let's say a truck is pulling it, right? As an example, there is something that is trying to work its way out in your life, Aries, and it has to do with being overly controlling, with believing that you have to do it all yourself, with believing that asking for support and help from somebody is a weakness, and by believing that if you control every aspect of your life and if you're constantly working and you're constantly staying vigilant, that things are going to work out, but it's actually keeping you out of the present moment, and it's keeping you hyper fixated on something that is actually draining your money because you are afraid of losing what you have. It's actually like sand running through your hands as you're trying to grasp it. So King of Pentacles is clarified by the Six of Pentacles, and this is all about assessing where things are out of balance and where you are over giving and overextending yourself. So personally, Aries, from what's coming up, I think that you have been overworking. I think you have been allowing your workaholism to take over. I think you've allowed your workaholism to convince you that if you just keep working, that that's actually what's going to lead you to abundance, but it's not true, right? Because when we believe that I have to exert myself, burn myself out, and prove my value. Again, this is coming from a lack mentality of believing that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy enough, and that the universe is not going to provide for us, right? I'm seeing definitely right now a lot of conflict. I don't know if this is at work. Again, this feels very work related with all of the pentacles coming up in this reading, and also the King of Pentacles and the Devil, which is very much in your 3D reality, right? It seems to me like there may be some conflict. I don't know if it's at work, and I don't know if it's internal. Sometimes the Five of Wands can talk about drama and conflict and having to stand your ground. So perhaps at work, you are dealing with some conflict with regard to trying to move up, trying to get promoted. Perhaps there are some conflicts with your coworkers. Or maybe this has to do with other relationships in your life, Aries. Are you neglecting friends, family, people who have been instrumental in contributing positively to your life that you have pushed to the wayside because you've been overly fixated on working and making money? Only you know your situation, so put yourself where you go, Aries. It's clarified by the King of Cups. So I think that this, at least for me, is really speaking to this full moon in Pisces that is coming up on August 30th/31st, right? That you are being called to understand that your intuition and your emotions are valuable, and that suppressing them, right, to try to keep the peace is not going to help you, and that there is something that's going to be revealed during this time of retrograde and the full moon in Pisces, right, that I think is going to help you to better understand the conflict that is going on and why this conflict has been coming up. Next card, Five of Pentacles in reverse. So this is like, when it's upright, this is about feeling like you are left out in the cold. Your finances are restricted. You're suffering some consequences, but it's in reverse. So basically what I'm seeing is that, and it's clarified that by the hanged one, if you can utilize this time, Aries, to reframe your perspective when it comes to work and finances, and identify your neuroses, your obsessions, your workaholism, your control issues, how you are burning yourself out, believing that working constantly, overextending yourself constantly is going to bring you money and abundance and security, when in fact that is the opposite. The universe is telling you that the way that you come out of either an actual financial constraint or the perception of lacking when you really don't, it has to do with you changing your perspective. Understanding that success and abundance, Aries, is not simply the dollars in your bank account. It is not simply the company that you work at or the title that you have. Success and abundance has so much more to do with being in equilibrium with yourself, with finding a balance between, you know, your heart, your intuition, as well as, you know, your 3D reality and how you're making money. The next card is the Judgment, right? So I think that these retrogrades, Aries, are really, and this full moon energy is really going to start to clear some things up for you to help you make a better judgment call. Now, it's clarified by these two cards, the Page of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Page of Cups can be some type of offer. It's a small offer, right? Like the Page is a younger, less mature energy. I don't know if this is love related. Again, I'm still getting more of a work vibe. So perhaps there is an opportunity to take a step back, Aries, and to do a little less. And I know that for you, Aries, more is more. But I think that the universe, right, with this Hanged One, the Devil, the Hierophant, is asking you to really think deeply within yourself and to understand that things are not always black and white. And sometimes doing less is actually what is going to lead you to bearing more fruit with regard to your investments in work and life in general. Now, what do I mean by that? Again, right? The workaholism, the control, the lack mentality, right? These are ingrained. One, it kind of is very typical for Aries to be a workaholic, to try to do it all on their own and to be very, very focused on what they can accomplish and to constantly be out there fighting battles with people to prove their worth. This is something that a lot of Aries struggle with in their life. And I think what the universe is asking you to do is to change your perspective and to understand that actually finding the balance with how you invest your time and energy, learning that asking for help and guidance from somebody that can help you find that equilibrium that you're lacking and work through those old thought patterns that are keeping you stuck in this workaholism and this lack mentality, right? When really the universe is providing for you, but you're not going to see it, Aries, until you change your perspective. But you need to understand that learning how to make good judgments calls sometimes means taking a step back and realizing that doing less and trusting more is actually what is going to bear fruit for you in the end. I feel like that's really straight and to the point, Aries. So I'm going to leave this one there. Yeah, I think this makes a lot of sense to me. I hope it resonates for you. I'm going to pull a card from the Mother Earth Mandala Oracle just to close this off. Angels, spirits, and guides, what final messages do you have for Aries? All right. Get that from the book. All right, flower in the wind. There is a fresh wind outside singing a song for you. If you can find a moment of peace and silence, you'll be able to hear its whispered message of love and pride. The wind is proud to carry your beautiful soul from one adventure to the next. Today, remember that you are loved and supported in every circumstance. Through the power of your intention, determine clearly the direction you want for your life. Define your goals and priorities. Then imagine yourself as light as a flower flying in the air and see where the wind takes you. Just open your eyes and follow the signs. I love that, Aries. Yeah, I think definitely September is about you finding the balance between work and play, about identifying the patterns, the ways of being, the conditioning that has put you into a place of believing you have to do it all by yourself, and that admitting you need help is a weakness. The old toxic workaholism where you believe that you just have to work all the time and you have to hoard your money. It's time for a change, and it's time for you to remember that as a go-getter, you also need to balance that out with being in nature and trusting spirit, and understand that finding a person, a guide, a mentor to help you transition and to learn these skills is actually what's going to help you to manifest the life that you truly deserve, Aries. So I hope these messages resonate, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.